The science is very clear around nature conservation, and that is that doing nothing, our planet is going to be in trouble. The stakes are very high right now. We see a lot of loss of habitat. For example, 1/3 of our world's coral reefs are now gone. We see the destruction of habitat around the world that is putting 1 million species at risk. And we understand now from science just how interconnected we are as human beings with the natural world. So I would say that nature conservation is in trouble, but with the science we also know that it's not too late to make change. I think one of the things that people feel are overwhelming is that these are complex challenges. They're all interrelated. And we are at a point where the challenges are accelerating, particularly around climate change. The most important thing that the Nature Conservancy can do is take those big complex challenges and boil them down into tangible actions that people can take. So it's about learning what's happening, understanding what needs to be done, and then taking action in a way that may start small but is scalable, and scalable around the world, where we can all learn from each other and start a positive cycle to address these challenges that we face.
Founded in the United States in 1951, the Nature Conservancy started as a land trust, focusing on land conservation, pioneering new ways of protecting important areas of land. Growing in size and scope and driven by science for the past 7 decades, the Nature Conservancy has expanded its reach into international conservation, developing regional programs, increasing its expertise in new areas, and taking bolder steps to enlarge its work, to address global challenges like climate change, and providing sustainable food and water.
Conservation is not really about land or nature. Conservation is really about people. How do we manage people? How do we manage ourselves so that we can sustain ourselves off the land base, off the water base, off the oceans over time? And how do we think about forests, which not just produce wood, but they produce oxygen, and they convert carbon dioxide into oxygen, and they sequester carbon dioxide, keeping and regulating our planet's temperature. Given that natural capital, how do we make sure that we preserve it instead of eating into the capital? So one example of that is in Lao He Go in Pingwu County, Sichuan, because it connects 2 national level nature reserves that are managed by the government. But it's really critical because it's panda habitat. So working with local community, working with the government, and work with the local NGOs to set aside 20,000 hectares of land to be managed in perpetuity for its ecological benefits. Ecotourism and agrotourism are now in place in the community, and so some of those folks in the community are now making 2, 3, 4 times as much as they used to make in that subsistence farming, very small valley.
Understanding the importance of the human dimension in nature conservation, TNC recognizes that it is a lack of research that makes people hesitant about investing in nature. And so, this is where science meets people.
One of the opportunities the Nature Conservancy has is to use science to really quantify what we need to do. If we are really going to have a future, as we envision, where people and nature thrive, we have to understand what it takes to get there. So our scientists looked at things like, what are population growth trends around the world? What are the impacts of those populations on our resources? How scarce are those resources? And what can we do about it?
TNC has over 400 scientists specializing in various disciplines, from aquaculture to forestry, from biometrics to economics. With the aid of advanced technology, they work with businesses, governments, philanthropists, and individuals to help them learn how they can translate ecosystem science into metrics and tools that are credible and can be readily used in the world of business.
So what TNC does is we focus a lot on the data and helping fishermen contribute to that data collection. So we have a lot of investment in technology like electronic monitoring, artificial intelligence and machine learning, things that can go on vessels with cameras, but that can help you automate the types of data that you're collecting, and then use that to make analysis and to say how many fish are there, how many are you catching, what kinds of fish are you catching, are they adults or are they juveniles, like have they had time to reproduce. So there's a lot of science and data in the process of working in fisheries.
Part of the challenge that we all face, and this goes beyond traditional sciences into the social sciences, is what do we need to do to change human behavior? And that gets to incentives, and it gets to government policies, and all of those things that then provide that roadmap to taking action where we can actually set ourselves on the kind of path that we need to, so nature can thrive alongside people.
Oyster farming used to be a major aquaculture for over 700 years. But in the past 40 years, the industry has experienced a rapid decline due to development and water pollution. One of the great examples that TNC has started is their Oyster Reef Restoration Program. From small beginnings, it is now scaling up globally. This project, originally started in the US, is now being piloted here in Lau Fau Shan at Deep Bay in Hong Kong.
We aim to bring back the ecological benefits of oyster reefs, including coastal protection, enhancement of biodiversity, and also water quality improvement, back to Hong Kong and other areas in China. We all face climate risks such as typhoons, flooding, storms. So if we can develop a model to help restore the oyster reefs and have them serve as natural buffers against these climate risks, we hope to replicate and scale up throughout other coastal cities in the Pearl River Delta.
So these oyster reefs and the reefs that they create, they become habitat for many, many, many different little animals. And we're actually quantifying amount of life that is living on this reef. The community here, they are the #1 stakeholders that we have to work with in this place. And that makes sense because in the end, they're here every day. They are the real stewards of this environment. So it's about engaging them to understand the value of the environment that they have, the beauty of the environment that they have.
其實喺以往嘅老人家一輩裏邊嚟講咧，環保呢個意識非常之薄弱嘅。原來蠔除咗我哋食嘅，對大自然嗰個環境係有幫助嘅。講到尾，我都係靠個海噶嘛，個海好，我自然好噶。咁如果個海唔好，咁做咩都冇用。TNC 邀請我哋啦，去美國考察啦，或者係叫做學習啦、參觀啦，去了解下外國做一啲嘅蠔礁嘅復育計劃啦，同埋人哋當地養蠔業嘅一啲嘅發展啦。其實感覺梗係好衝擊啦。我哋落後咗唔知幾多10年，因為好多時候講捕魚啦，係一個毀滅性嘅。咁啊，好多時講養殖係會對土地、對地方會有影響嘅。點樣去中間攞個平衡呢？我見到其實有方法可以解決，不過可能需要時間喺呢度，我哋點樣去提倡，或者我同我哋嘅業界嘅議員去點樣去傾，去令到呢件事可以可行。TNC 大自然保育會咪可以做到呢件事，去俾到我哋嘅正面嘅資訊，我哋點樣去保護生態、保護呢個環境，同時一樣去發展我哋自己嘅漁農產業啊！呢個係一個好重要嘅問題。
I believe it is our responsibility, especially for those of us that are older, that have had the benefit of experience, to learn from those experiences, to share those with young people, and to give them the kind of education and support and exposure that they need in order to make different decisions that we might have made, learn from our mistakes, and create a future for the generations to come. So, as they say too, we don't inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children, that they can do better for their children than we might have done for them. We only have one place that we share together. And world civilization is people coming together for the benefit of this shared planet.